Do you have a game plan for your business? To succeed in a competitive market, it's so wise to have a long-term business strategy in place. I'm Kalila Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Today, I'm joined by Dennis Chung, CEO of Supreme Venture Services, who's going to tell you how you can create a winning strategy for your small business. And make sure you watch this video to the end because I have a giveaway coming up. Hi, Dennis. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you're a very busy man.
You're not always here for your career.
I know. And it's actually because of you. You gave me an idea some months ago when we were speaking, when you were just launching Supreme Venture Services of the Small Business, Medium Business Hub. You said, I need a strategy. And that gave me the idea not only to create a strategy for my business, but for the content for this session today. So tell me, what is a business strategy?
A strategy is really a plan laid out as to how you're going to get to a destination. So if you think about going from here to Ligani, for example, your strategy would be how you're going to get there. Am I going to drive? Am I going to walk? Am I going to ride a bicycle? What do I need to support the car? Do I need a driver? Am I going to drive myself? Is it more efficient for me to go on a bicycle? Because
your preferred mode of transportation.
My preferred mode of transportation, because I don't have the cost of the gasoline. However, if I go on a bicycle, is it going to rain? Mm-hmm. So your strategy takes into consideration also your environment, right? And what are the challenges you're going to face along the way? And what's the most efficient or most effective way of getting to that destination? Right, so that basically is what you outline in a strategy.
So how is this different from a business plan? Because we're taught that you need to have a business plan. How is the plan different from the strategy?
So a plan really is the product of it. So you're basically coming up with something that says, okay, this is my strategic plan. So I've developed my strategy, and at the end of the day, I have a document that says this is a plan of how I'm going to execute that strategy, right? The strategy is a living, breathing thing, So it's actually the road to get there. The plan is saying this is what I have in terms of my plans to get there.
Is this something that I need to write down on paper, or is something I have a vision in my head that I want to execute?
It's always best to write it down, because when you write something down, greater objectivity comes out. When something is in your head, it tends to change with emotions sometimes.
True.
And you want to get rid of the emotions. So many times I say to people, I'll sit on a few boards and things are not going how the people meet a little bump and they say, oh, we need to relook. I say, no, we've thought about the strategy very well. We've documented it. We have considered that these things might happen. So let us go along with what we said.
And you also want to remember what you initially planned and envisioned for the company.
Exactly. And once you have a strategy, it also sets a benchmark for you to reach towards.
So is there like a template that you use, or is just something that comes from your head and your heart and you write it down?
Well, there are various templates. The one I love in starting to develop the strategy is the business canvas.
Business canvas. Tell me about that.
So the business canvas, people don't really do business plans anymore. People do start with a business canvas. So your business canvas is really looking on one sheet of paper or one electronic form, everything that you need. So it has a section for customers, it has a section for product, it has a section for marketing or channels, it has a section for cost, it has a section for revenue, right? And the idea is that you have all of this on one whiteboard or chalkboard or whatever, and you fill everything in. And that gives you an idea of how everything comes together. So how does my revenue relate to my channels? How does my channels relate to my customers? How does it relate to how I market? You know, that sort of thing. So that is what the business canvas is. And I find that works very well. In fact, while I was at the PSOJ, we had developed the business model competition with the Development Bank of Jamaica that actually worked with university students using that business canvas model to develop various businesses for them. And it works very well. I love it. I mean, I use it, for example, to develop the business hub. That was what I used. I just called everyone to a meeting.
And that went from idea to implementation very quickly.
And that is what the business canvas does for you, right? So when you're developing your strategy, the business canvas, you just sit down with it and all the ideas will come up because you see the linkages right there. You don't have to have one section for your financial reports, one section for marketing. No, everything is there. And then once you complete your business canvas, you just write out your strategy.
Okay, so we can just go on Google, type in business canvas, and we can find some templates for that.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we'll drop them in the description box below. You can check that out and link it on the website as well. So give me an example. What's a basic business strategy that we can use?
A basic strategy is saying, you know, how am I going to deal with my competitors? Or how am I going to deal with markets? So again, coming to that business canvas, everything that you do to address everything on that canvas is a part of your strategy, right? And then you look at various things, and what it does when you look at it is you look at things that you think can work, but then with different people interacting, you come out with a defined strategy that has the highest probability of success. You know, which is what you want. You want something with the highest probability of success. And it has to be flexible because in March, for example, no one knew COVID was coming.
True.
Right? So the financial industry has something called value at risk models, where they say that, you know, based on the strategy I have in place, the maximum loss I will have is X amount, and my capital can take that. So that is the sort of thing you need to do for your business to say, if something happens, right, I'm going to take on some debt, which is why you have to define your debt to equity ratio. Because you say, if something happens that I have a loss of revenue of X amount, I should be able to sustain because I have enough equity. And that's how you determine your relationship between equity and debt, for example.
Yeah, yeah. So what are some other examples of questions you should be asking yourself in formulating your strategy?
Well, the questions you should be asking is, what does the market want? I mean, when you're developing a product or a service, people tend to, when they think of ideas, get emotionally attached to it. You know, and that's why a lot of businesses fail, because people get emotionally attached to it, and then the person who is the primary person in creating that business, when they head the business, they tend to lead with the emotions that they have attached to that product or service, which is why sometimes it's good to have someone come in and counter your thoughts, you know, because they can see it more objectively. So what does the market want? You might think that the market wants X, but the market might want something else. So that's the first thing you need to look at. You need to define your product according to what the market needs. And then you need to look at your strategy around your product. So if you think about marketing 101, for example, the 4 P's of marketing: place, product, price, and people. And you define your marketing strategy around that. And define
place, product, price, people.
Right.
Okay.
So I always give the example of Burger King and Half a Tree, right? Burger King and Half a Tree is the #1 selling per capita Burger King, or it was.
In the world.
In the world. The reason for that is because when you look at fast food industry in Jamaica, it's different from the US, for example. The fast food industry in Jamaica is built around the market that we have here, as opposed to the US. So in Jamaica, 60 or 70% of the traffic walks. In the US, they drive. So the stores here in Jamaica are bigger and accommodate more dining than in the US stores. If you look at, for
The
example,
drive-through,
KFC, right?
right.
They have a bigger drive-through, right? So those are some of the things that you need to look at in developing the strategy, environment, and then you need to look at your resources. I mean, it makes no sense trying to build a building for $100 million when you only have $10 million. You know, so you need to tie all of that, which is where the cost and the revenue comes in. You know, and so you tie all of that together on your business canvas. So each section of it will tell you what strategy you need to focus on in each segment.
All right, thank you so much. You've given us gold, Dennis. And this is just the starting point. So you can find some more links to resources in the description box below and on KalilaReynolds.com. So before we go, Dennis, you need to give us a question for our audience.
What I would ask the audience is, what are you doing in your strategy to ensure that you're ready for the changed economy after COVID? Because things are going to be different. You know, so what are you doing to adjust to that?
Okay, so answer that question in the comments on Exim Bank's Instagram page at Exim Bank JA, and you can win yourself a lovely prize. Obviously, it's not a yes or no type of question, so the best answer will win. Exim Bank will choose the winner. And here's a recap of Dennis's main points.
A good business strategy is flexible. A business canvas is a useful tool for planning. Assign someone to monitor the success of your business strategy. And it's important to find out what your market wants and to define your product according to what the market needs.
As a small business owner, consider creating and executing a sound business strategy that's tightly tied to your vision. This will help with the long-term success of your business. That's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Visit their website, eximbankja.com. I'm Kalila Reynolds. Stay safe.